A long time no see. Y'all, my face went down. I got like cheekbones. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Or Snapchat, you should. They all the same. But I needed a tooth pulled, and a bitch. When I tell you I look like Quagmire, and I was in so much pain, I feel like I gave birth to a baby out of my mouth. That's how bad it was and how bad I felt. But that's not why we're here. We're here because there seems to be some drama. This man's name just can't stay out of drama. I really don't understand it. With Juvias Place and her customers, some influencers, and Jeffree Star. Girl, it's like we just can't. Yeah. So, I think I've had conversations. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know we've had a lot of discussion with a lot of people who don't understand like what the big deal is and what the problem is. So if you guys are unaware, this all started, Jeffree Star had did a review on Juvias Place's foundations. He put the video up. I think the video is like somewhere like 5 or 6 million views at this particular point. And the owner and creator, Chi decided to post him on her page. Now, a little bit of backstory as to why that may or may not be a problem for some people. So if you don't know, Juvias Place is a black-owned business who uses a lot of African and Nigerian imagery on their packaging, such as Nefertiti. It's very, I mean, like the packaging is great. It became very popular because at that particular point, a lot of the, I'm not gonna say just African American influencers were using her, but primarily that's who was reviewing the brand before we had a Jeffree or a Nikki Tutorials come in and review the brand. So I remember my sister, who does a lot of my makeup sometimes depending on if we're going to events, she had used their eyeshadows on me and I was like, they're really good. And she's like, they're super duper affordable, they're beautiful, they're pigmented, all of these great things. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I followed her, and sometime last year she had posted a picture of Jeffree on her page, and we all know his bit of a track record that his track record with you know, just a lot of racially charged things that he's done, not just from 10 or 12 years ago, but some recent stuff that's surfaced that has been alleged that he has had said. So, I had seen that. I think she had posted it and took it down really quick because it didn't have the same effect that this particular post had. And I kind of really didn't say anything about it. A lot of people, when I would post like stuff on my Insta story about like PR that I'm getting and stuff like that, because I get a lot of PR for makeup even though I'm not a makeup channel, and they be like, we don't ever see you with Juvia's Place, and I always skip over the question simply because that just rubbed me the wrong way, and something that may bother me may not necessarily bother you. So cut to the other day, she had posted him and was raving about how she was crying at the fact that he reviewed her brand, how grateful she is, and she's so excited, and blah 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 blah. So he had did a video where he had went to Ulta, the one in Calabasas. He used to be a Babies R Us, by the way. He had like said he found his shade. He was super duper excited. So people was like, oh my God, Jeffree is not racist anymore. He is inclusive. He loves everybody. And I was like, bitch, what? Okay. So again, I'm over here licking my wounds at this point because I got some other shit going on. So I was just like, okay. So then it kind of blew up and got even bigger because Alissa Ashley, if you guys are not gorgeous, she had did a tweet stating, a lot of you guys keep asking me why I'm not reviewing the Juvias Place foundation. And you guys have asked me, Nima Tang, and Jackie Aina why we have not. And she went on to say, simply because, I'll put the tweet somewhere in here, simply because the owner is trash. And I was like, oh shit, okay, so it's deeper than what I felt when I seen, you know, the kind of praise and prior, I wasn't wrong about. I kind of read her right, and I was just like, okay. So it was a lot of things that she pretty much said, like, you know, she was on the PR list, she didn't get her PR, and people are pretty much making this to say she's entitled because she didn't get PR from a company for free, and now she was bitter about it. And it happened, mind you, back in 2016. So cut to the other day, you know, she did a video, which I believe has since been deleted because I couldn't find it. Alyssa, girl, if you want to go ahead and throw me that unlisted link, girl, if you got it, I'll watch it. I won't post it, but I'll watch it. And pretty much explaining her back and forth with the owner of the company. Now, a lot of people that I have tweeted to and tweeted about and just looked in general has said they have had a lot of issues with customer service when it comes to Juvia's Place, and it's not very good. So that's one thing. And then on top of that, it's pretty much that the owner is prioritizing white influencers over black influencers, which is another issue in itself. Then to just add the cherry on top of it, it's that she will praise someone who has had a very, very, very problematic past with the bulk of her audience. So a lot of people believe that it was okay and we should not be in a tizzy because she posted him because he used her product and she didn't send him PR. He purchased it himself. Now here's where things get a little interesting, and let me just put it out there. There's been a couple of drama channels who are not melanated who have said things that we should be happy and grateful that someone of his size would pretty much, in so many words, give the little brand a shout out. That's pretty much what I gained from a lot of tweets from certain drama channels, and I'm just kind of like, interesting. So here's the thing. Do I believe that people can change? Absolutely. We all do things when we are younger, especially when we are in a very weird time in our lives to try to figure out who we are as an individual. The things that I did on here at 19, I wouldn't do now at 32. I just would, yes, bitch, at 32. I wouldn't do now. You know, there's certain things that I wouldn't say and things of that nature. Furthermore, just my core of who I am as a person, there's certain things that I have no interest in. I'm not excited about. So my dealings a lot of times, and they're not always the right ways for me to go about stuff, but bitch, in the moment, that's how the fuck I feel, so that's where the fuck I'm at. But in those particular moments, you don't make the best choices. However, if I continue to make the same mistakes at 32 as I did at 19, then that means that the only thing that has changed is the date. The only thing that has changed is who I do it in front of. The only thing that has changed is the fact that, you know, I have grown to continue to be the same person, just a little bit older and should be a little bit wiser. So I'm even more ignorant to the fact. So I said all that to say, just about maybe a week or two ago, this same person who is so changed and evolved was single-handedly trying his best to end the career of a 19-year-old who has done not even half of what he did at 19. And he was disgusting, and he was a mess, and he shouldn't have been this person, and he is a danger to society. You know, all of this based off you feel like you're not top dog. So when you're not number one, it makes you feel inadequate. No matter all the great things that are going on in your life, all the blessings that are going on in your life, it seems like your name is always brought up in negativity. So for the owner of Juvias Place, a black woman of Nigerian descent at that, to have made a brand that is pretty much geared towards women of color, and then to thank, gawk over, and love, and suck the dick of somebody who has single-handedly disrespected every last woman who motherfucking helped you get there is a problem. Now, I am the first, and I think my last closet talk was about the fact that a lot of times people can be a little overly sensitive about things. In this particular situation, that ain't the case. And I'm going to tell you why, and it's not just because it's Jeffrey. If it was anyone, if it was Pat McGrath, if it was Fenty, I would have the same issue. Now, people say, well, you guys should have the same energy with Anasazi and Beverly Hills and Norvina because they're friends, so why are you guys not canceling them? Because Anasazi and Beverly Hills is not a black-owned brand by a black-owned woman who's used black people's money in order to get where she's at when her black ass was not sitting there and not getting the attention of Jeffrey and fucking Nikki. So in other words, you use the backs of the girls who look like you to get to the people who wasn't paying you no dust when you didn't have no money and no resources, no individuality at that particular point, and you were too ethnic for those people to give you the time of day. So it really sucks that you look at someone like Jackie Aina and Nima Tang and Alissa Ashley. They have over 1 million between all of them. But what they don't have is the 15 and the 13 and the 12 million, like the problematic ones. So you don't want to give them the utmost respect, even though they were the ones who single-handedly helped your brand get off the ground. Now, I'm not saying that nobody in this situation should be kissing anybody's ass. I don't believe that that's okay, because everybody, we all use each other. When I do hair reviews, the company is using my platform to promote their shit, and I'm getting paid as a way, and also putting out content to do so. So we're all using each other in a way. So I don't believe that it's, oh, one has to do the other, but you can't disrespect me. Story time. This happened to me personally with a company, and I won't say the name because I don't fuck with them no more. But it was a company that I and a lot of other people who look just like me, skin folk, who have promoted this brand to get to the heights of the fact that they ended up with Gabby Douglas as their spokesperson. And no shade to Gabby Douglas, but she ain't never been no hair girl, okay? So they hit me up. I did a review, and I used their, now mind you, this particular hairstyle that I did, I could have did it on anyone else's hair, but because I had a long-standing relationship with the company, I chose to do this look with this company. They hit me up and said, okay, the wigs are flying off the shelves. A lot of people specifically want the wig that you had made. Is there any way that you could join our designer program, and you'll get a percentage of each wig, and we make it and ship it out? So I was like, that's cool, because you got a lot of times you guys ask me, can you make me one? And I'm like, I don't have the time. I don't have the one. I don't have the aptitude right now to do that 10 and 50 times. I just don't. So I said, okay, so what does that come with? It was a couple of other people that I worked with who had done it as well. And they was like, okay, well, the wig was going for about $400, $400 odd, okay? And they told me that I would get 5% of each sale. So I don't know if my calculations are off or wrong, but I think I would have got about like $20 or so, somewhere in there per wig, okay? I said, okay, and what else? Because you're going to pay me, you're going to take my design, make money off of it, use most of that money to pay Gabby Douglas, and then give me pennies. We're not going to do that. So I severed ties with the company on that alone, because you want to use what I have and my talent, but you don't want to pay me for it. And that in itself is a problem. So I know how that feels. We'll never work with them again. But I know how that feels. So for Alissa to be reaching out and asking, hey, yo, I'm just trying to get a palette. All my other co-workers, if you will, are getting the palette. Why am I not receiving it? Because my audience wants that. And the thing that maybe you guys as consumers and people who watch videos may not understand is that when something is really hot, especially when there's an item, you guys know I've done a lot of things that were not the thing. I was one of the first people to do so on my channel. So you want to kind of get those things out, especially if they're reviews for products that are going to hit shelves in a minute. You want to kind of give your take on it so that the people that follow you, that only like your opinion, can then figure out if it's for them or if it's not for them. So I don't feel like her asking about it was wrong. If they didn't deliver it, that's fine. But based on the emails, based on the text messages, and based on what other customers have said about this particular company, I would have to say this company is more so pandering to the fact that you are black, and you do look like them, but they don't really care about equality of the very person that they're marketing to, if you will. It's like BET. BET is not a black-owned company. They are under the moniker of BET, but it's ran by a whole bunch of non-black people, okay? So that's probably why you see the difference and why it looks a little bit different, or feels like not the BET that you want to remember, because it's not being ran by the original people who went with the intent of what it is. It's like with anything, when you look at certain things, Blue's Clues is not what it was when Steve was on there. It's still a show, but it's not the show that we remember, because it's being ran by different people with different ideas. So for her to be so disrespectful, and then to top it all off, she sends legal letters to Jackie, allegedly, and Alissa, but it then addresses the legal letter to her sister, Arnell, even though they're twins. It's like, girl, did you know who you was working with at all in this situation? So when I see people say, well, I don't understand what the issue is and what the problem is, finally there's a brand that was not a huge corporation such as Fenty, where the owner felt like she was like you. And no matter how you feel about it, even though this is not a friendship, buying from a company is not a friendship, it makes you feel better about yourself when you put the money into the pockets of people who have the same moral compass and value as you do. And you know that they care about the betterment of the people in which they're serving. You know, so in other words, it's no different if the LGBT community started to see that Offset and Tracy Morgan and Kevin Hart were now at Pride doing signings, because all of those people have had said some very derogatory things about gay men or gay people in general. So or we see the NAACP are now doing Trump tributes. It would be weird to say, well, why would you align yourself with someone who has made it very clear that they have had issues with these people? Now, the argument is he's apologized for what he's done and he's a better person, so why can't you allow people to grow? And as I stated prior in this video, I'm all about growth for people, myself included. But just around the corner ago, okay, you were trying to single-handedly threaten and take somebody down that you deem to be a threat. Because, you know, the sad thing about all of this is that a lot of these people who have a lot of money are still very unhappy. And I believe that Mr. Starr is one of those people. I would want nothing more than Jeffrey to be a very genuine person, to be a better person. You like to stir the drama, you like to stir the pot, and then when shit gets too hot, then you want to just move on from it. And now, how many times are you going to allow a person to sit there and lie to you to your face and you believe everything that they say? A person who has had a very, very bad track record with people of African American descent, and you said some not so things, and not even just African American people, but Mexican people as well. Okay, that's why I don't understand how Manny was his friend, but that's nor here nor there. You then, as a black business and a black woman, you pander to this person. Now, I get that they've apologized, but in the eyes of a lot of the people who follow you, who deal with this on a regular basis, as women, as men, as people in makeup, as African Americans in general, that's a spit in their face. And it's very disrespectful, and it feels like you're more about your pockets than you are about what you say you are about. Nobody's upset with him reviewing a product, but we do have a big problem with the person that runs the company, who is literally sitting there kissing the ass of someone because now I'm in the mainstream now. He got me this visibility because he's pretty much using you as a pawn to then pat his own narrative, which is, I'm not racist anymore. Look, I help out the little small black brands, and I'm not racist anymore. Everything has something behind it, because why aren't you doing this for other brands? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's very much, I'm trying my hardest to cater to a group of individuals that I have offended, and I know for a fact that when my foundations drop, I'm going to need these very girls to promote my product. So I have to get in line and do what I need to do in order to make this. That's all it is. It's not genuine at all. Because if it was genuine, if you really gave that many fucks about it, you would be really sitting out here really trying to help the business in itself. You don't care. You give a fuck about yourself and yourself only. And a lot of you, and I'm gonna call y'all out too, y'all let him get away with a lot of shit that y'all would not let other people get away with. Although I don't agree with the shit that's going on with that Laura, Manny, Nikita, and even James have done. None of them have done what he's done. Meanwhile, though, he's been able to get off scot-free by the skin of his teeth and live just as fine and be just as vindicated, while a lot of their careers have not been able to come back from the things that they've done when they haven't even been a tenth of what he's done. So you're allowing your psyche to be pretty much manipulated by watching about how many cars I have and what my closet looks like and what my life is. And all this person is doing is lying to you because they're lying to themselves. Any good person who's that happy would not sit back in drama all day. And I'm going to tell you that right now. There's not too many rich people who go out here looking to be part of something that has nothing to do with them. But that's what an unhappy person does. So when you sit back and you support that, then you also support him calling people nigger bitches, either it's today or tomorrow, calling women gorillas. You support that. So whether you like him or not, whether you think he's changed or not, it really would motherfucker fucking matter. Because a lot of you guys don't care. You only care because inclusivity right now is a trope. It's cute. You want to get on camera and talk and read a brand because their shade range is very limited. You're not reading them because you don't necessarily feel like this is okay. You're reading them because they're competition for you, okay? I don't like Huda Beauty at all. But him reading Huda Beauty was simply not because she was wrong for this or stealing from this smaller brand. It was because this was your way to get back at her. You didn't have an issue with James, so you said in those text messages, but yet and still you were ready to drive a fucking bowling pin over that boy because he had then passed you in subscribers. So he was your friend until he was a threat, and you see him as a threat because having 16 million people is still not enough for you. So at the end of the day, if you support him, you support all the bullshit that he done, and all the people that's going to sit in these comments and say, let's keep it about makeup. Then if that's the case, when James does something and crosses another friend and does some bullshit, we're going to keep it about makeup. When Tati cries about vitamins, we're going to keep it about makeup. When somebody calls somebody else a nigger bitch, don't say nothing because we're going to keep it about makeup. When somebody makes a joke about rich lives matter with a fucking cake, we're going to keep it about makeup. Because you can't pick and choose when you want to be upset. You can't pick and choose when you want to be mad. And you can't pick and choose who gets a pass and who does not. So for all of you guys who do not understand why people were upset, that is the reason. As an African American woman who have used the backs of African American women to get to where you are, to then spit in their face for someone like him, I don't have a problem with Nikki tutorials. So Nikki working with her and her praising Nikki is not an issue with me. I will say I see a lot of issues wrong with the company due to the simple fact that it was very whitewashed. I haven't seen a man in makeup on your fucking page in 8 months. So it says a lot. So it says that the person who runs this company does not stand by the ethics that they promote, pretty much, okay? So you can take this with a grain of salt or not. At the end of the day, she cannot control who promotes her brand. When you have a brand, you can't. If that was the case, she would get all these negative videos about her taken down and she had that much control. She cannot. Him reviewing her brand isn't my problem. He's reviewed, like I said, Fenty and Pat McGrath and plenty other black-owned brands. Beauty Bakery, I don't have a problem with that. But I would never, ever respect somebody who will go out of their way to disrespect their own, to uphold someone else who has made it very clear about how he feels about you and everybody who looks just like you. That right there is my issue. You don't have to like it. You don't have to respect it. But what I will not do is sit here and let a failed model who now runs a fucking drama channel tell women of color and men of color how the fuck they should feel and how the fuck we should be grateful about the fact that the racist decided that he wanted to do a good deed for the little makeup company. I'm not doing it. So if you don't like what I had to say, then go ahead and unsubscribe. You don't have to announce it, okay? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, respect is given to whomever it is. And I don't want to make this about a race thing, but in this particular situation, a lot of times, shutting the fuck up is the best thing you can do. Because I would never sit back and tell trans women how to fuck to feel. I would never sit back and tell rape victims how to fuck to feel about something that directly affects them. No matter how big or small it is, it's not my place or yours to tell somebody how to fuck to feel about something that affects them. Okay? So have an opinion, be partial, be biased all you want to. But when you talk about something, especially a main situation when it comes to race and those things, and I'm the first one to call out people for using race as a crutch and a trope. This ain't that time. So at the end of the day, respect those and their opinions, especially those who are directly offended and affected. And on that note, let me go put on some makeup because the bitch is definitely backed up in work. And I will catch y'all in my next one. Peace. Don't send no hate to nobody in this video, y'all. I'm just simply saying keep it respectful. And that's it. And that's all. Peace.